I rise today on behalf of the 22 million Americans who are about to see their health care premiums double on average unless my Republican colleagues do something. We've spent the last 35 days trying to get them to care about Americans' health care costs going up. And I can tell you firsthand, Wisconsinites are calling me every day, begging me to stay in this fight. Last week, we saw for the first time just how much Wisconsinites' premiums will go up unless President Donald Trump and Republicans do their jobs and negotiate with us. In Wisconsin, the average 40-year-old will see their premiums increase nearly 40%. An average family of 4 will see premiums skyrocket by nearly $17,000 per year. And for a 60-year-old couple, they will be paying more than $24,000 for health care next year. And these that I'm sharing right now are just statewide averages. For some folks, the reality will be much, much worse. A 60-year-old couple in Barron County, a rural county in Wisconsin, making $85,000 a year, will see an increase of over 800% in their premiums. That is a $33,000 increase, more than a third of their entire income, just to get health care for the year. And behind all of these statistics are real people. Open enrollment started just 4 days ago. And right now, Americans can log on to healthcare.gov and see just how ruinous these premium costs will be to their budgets for next year. I've heard from constituents like Carol, a retired high school teacher in Menominee, whose premiums are going to go up by nearly $2,000 per month. Will she have to drop her insurance entirely? I'm hearing from small business owners like Teresa in Milwaukee County. As a metastatic breast cancer patient, going without insurance is simply not an option. Will doubling premiums in 2026 jeopardize her entire business and all the people that she employs? And I've talked to soybean farmers like Phil in Spring Valley, who is adding healthcare costs to the growing list of crises Donald Trump has created for his business. He's already losing $85 an acre because of Trump's trade war. Where is he supposed to find extra money to afford his health insurance? These are real questions that 22 million Americans are asking themselves as they start logging on to healthcare.gov to buy insurance for 2026, only to find their costs have increased astronomically. These price increases are not an issue that will stop at any state line. Who you voted for or what political party you belong to does not matter. Prices are going up for Americans in every single state. These 22 million Americans all have a story to tell. And sadly, many of my Republican colleagues are not telling those stories. So I'm here to do that, because regardless of where you live in this country, I fundamentally believe you should have good health care that doesn't break the bank. Take Iowa, for instance, where 120,000 Iowans saved an average of $470 each month because of premium tax credits. That's over 100,000 people who are about to see their health care premiums double, triple, maybe even quadruple. People like Lori from Des Moines, a cancer survivor who needs these tax breaks to afford life-saving screenings, MRIs, and routine care. If these tax credits expire, her premiums will go from $8 per month to over $600 per month, and she'll have no other option than to opt out of health insurance entirely. She simply cannot afford it. And Lori isn't alone. Estimates show that the average premiums for Iowans with marketplace coverage will increase by over $1,000 next year. For Iowans already struggling to make ends meet, that's simply unaffordable. I also talked to Jenny from West Des Moines. After Jenny's husband died of cancer, she started using the Affordable Care Act to find health insurance for herself and her son. She shared last week that without the enhanced tax credits, my premiums are going to more than double. She continued, as hard as it's going to be for us, I know it's going to be a lot harder for other single mothers. Iowa, like Wisconsin, also is home to countless rural and agricultural communities that are going to be hard hit by Donald Trump's health care crisis. More than 1 in 4 farmers nationwide rely on the Affordable Care Act for their coverage. And taking away these tax credits will be yet another blow. As Aaron Lehman and Matt Russell from the Iowa Farmers Union wrote in a recent op-ed, Iowa farmers are being stressed right now by low prices because of trade wars, increased production costs, tens of millions of dollars in cuts to USDA programs like support for conservation and specialty crop production. A dramatic increase in 2026 health care premiums for thousands of rural Iowans will crash individual family budgets and intensify the economic crisis. Listen to them. Health care premiums will crash families' budgets. These farmers have already been dealt a terrible hand by this administration. And now this? And let's not forget, we're having this debate after Donald Trump and Republicans already took a hacksaw to the rural health care system with their big, ugly bill. Their cuts to Medicaid are going to cost rural hospitals nearly $150 billion over the next decade, forcing many to close, and even more to drop some of their least profitable services, but vital services like labor and delivery and mental health care. Unless Republicans and Donald Trump come to the table, the expiring Affordable Care Act tax breaks will put salt in the wound for rural Iowans and Wisconsinites alike. So if Donald Trump and my Republican colleagues won't listen to Democrats, I hope they'll listen to Iowans like Jenny and Lori, who are terrified about how they will be able to make ends meet without these tax breaks. To my Republican colleagues, there was plenty of room in the budget to deliver tax breaks for the ultra-wealthy and big corporations. But what about hard-working Americans? The path out of this is so incredibly clear. Republicans can come to the table today to work with Democrats to reopen the government and protect their own constituents from skyrocketing costs, or Republicans can whistle past the graveyard as they greenlight the largest premium spike in history. To me and your voters, the choice is clear. I just hope you can listen and stand up for working families. If not, millions of Americans will know who to blame when they can no longer afford their insurance. I yield the floor.